This Raw really sounded very good compared to Fastlane. Even though it's in Tennessee, the Nashville crowd was much better than the Memphis crowd for me personally. Now, you guys can see from the title below, if I know what the title is at this moment, I don't. It's going to be about Cena. So everything else is coming first before that. First thing is the opening with Randy Orton, and he got a very great ovation. But do I feel like it was the best thing to turn him back to heel? At first, no. Until the end of the show when it came to the match. And that's between him and Seth Rollins versus Daniel Bryan and Roman. The Roman Empire. That empire that dominates. I gotta say it. The match itself was okay. There was not much of a problem with it. Seeing that Seth tagged himself in and it pissed off Randy and he walks off all pissed off, and the Kane and the Big Show try to calm down, and then the Seth Rollins get whacked in the face with the shotgun of the Superman punch and then gets a running knee. I felt at first I felt like this really is kind of stupid. You had a chance with a Randy Orton coming back who really seems like at this moment the crowd wants to see him as a face. And then you turn him heel, and then it just feels a little weird that he gets pissed off from just a tag in. But then when I looked past it, I thought, we have 5 weeks before we actually get WrestleMania. And when it comes down to it, having this happen is not too bad. Breaking down of the authority from Randy Orton, splitting them off. And I gotta say, in the beginning of the show, Steph actually sounded pretty decent. She wasn't great, but she sounded decent. It makes sense to go there. But I say this 100%, and anybody below can tell me if I'm wrong or right. I do believe I'm correct in my assumption. They're going to have their WrestleMania moment together. But if it's not with the briefcase at WrestleMania or afterward, I think this feud really made no sense. For the simple reason is this: Seth Rollins has had this Money in the Bank beef. No, I'm saying beefcake. I'm thinking of Brutus the Barber beefcake. Because of the Bushwhackers, I'm kind of hoping that we'll see him too. But putting it aside, when you look at this, the briefcase truly needs to be put up for grabs eventually. If it's not at WrestleMania, it's got to be afterwards. Because Seth Rollins really is going to get anywhere with that briefcase. Not that they won't let him go after the World Heavyweight Champion. It's that as a character. And he's been promoted a lot. He's been very watered down now. He was red hot 3 months ago. But now he feels watered down. And at this moment in time, that briefcase must be put up for grabs with a Randy Orton. It makes the perfect sense. Now, I'm going to go through the matches. Primetime Players versus the Ascension. And I feel sorry for the Ascension. They got stuck in a situation where Vince, look, we know Vince did not start NXT the way he wanted. He left that for Triple H. Hunter has made NXT more exciting than most of Raw. And we all know this. And I'm sure Vince is saying, oh, my little brother-in-law Paul, he thinks he's doing so well, so when I'm gone, he's going to get somewhere with his thoughts of NXT. Oh, no. I'm going to make him understand that as long as I'm still the chairman of the board, everything goes my fucking way. I don't fucking care. Even if it's getting over, I don't fucking care about the Ascension. I'm going to make them get fucking buried before I decide I'm even going to give them a chance. Look at the Primetime Players. I'm not against them. Millions of Dollars was something I did enjoy with their little dance. It was damn funny. They both have a charismatic attitude together. They both work well. But the Ascension is the most youngest team they got. And they really need to get them over because they were doing so well in NXT. So what do? You don't put them in a substantial feud. You put them in a feud with two guys that haven't been together for over a year. And I'm not saying that letting it You see my frustration because the primetime players can do something great. I said it would be good if they got a push. But let's be honest here. The primetime players is not going to get anywhere. And I don't believe the Ascension is going to get anywhere having a feud with two guys who has not been paired together for quite a long time. And then if they are going to go somewhere and get the push, the Ascension still won't get over for the simple reason that they're going to be buried for the primetime players anyway. You get my point. The Usos versus Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, their rematch. Thought it was too soon. But this is what we got. The Usos now pretty much have gone to the back of the line as JBL has stated, which makes sense. But this is what I said in my Fastlane pay-per-view. You got two women with two husbands. And they're both on one show. And that's Total Divas. And as much as people don't really care that much about Total Divas, these are the only two right now that actually have something substantial. I'm sorry. If they don't go there at WrestleMania 31 with these two, this was the most stupidest situation for put Naomi and put Natalya in. I'm being honest here. Really. I do love them both. I love me. You know that the most important person that I love is my Naomi. Natalya came in a close second. She wasn't the most dominant, but I do love me Natalya. And seeing these two butt heads makes some sense. They're actually working together in this feud. And I'm hoping they'll actually build up and separate them from their husbands so they can actually focus on this and have them match at WrestleMania. Sorry, my nose is itchy. But, ooh, still sick, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm telling you right now, if they don't go there, if this doesn't lead anywhere, like what happened with the Bellas match, it is damn stupid. And let's do the Bellas match. Bellas versus Emma and Paige. Very short. Paige eats a fist or elbow, I don't care. Emma takes the pin. So, I don't see anything going on with this feud. Seeing that Paige's eye was tearing, they had a chance to let Paige get the title now. And they didn't do it. Unless they're building up to something at WrestleMania, which I believe is going to be Nikki versus somebody. That's what it's coming down to. Nikki's going to have a WrestleMania moment with somebody. And it probably won't be a good one either. Because she's had no feud. Her character looks terrible. What happened with Paige, her, and her sister Brie doing that 12-year-old stupid PE joke made them look really terrible. The crowd was booing their heads off at them. Not because they're great heels, but because they suck. And anyone who loves the Bellas, you should be angry because the Bellas deserve a little better than this. Like most of the women on there, if they're promoted properly, they should have something a little better than what they got, and they don't got it. I'm just saying. The Stardust versus Goldust match. No, well, in a sense, it was kind of Dustin versus Cody with a little Jack Swagger thrown in. Because we didn't even give a damn about Jack. This was about Dustin, sorry, I was saying Dusty. Dustin and Cody. I'm using their real names for the simple reason they're trying to make this personal. And it's not crossing over well enough. I mean, the Memphis crowd did not get it and didn't care. This crowd, well, they got it to a certain extent. Nashville crowd got it. But it wasn't strong enough. And that kind of makes me wonder what the hell's going on. Now, that's pretty much all the main matches. That's it. Let's just get to the last few things I want to talk about. One is the Bushwhackers. I may do a debate of the week when I feel better. I really can't do too much talking. I'm trying to make this as short as I can, but I will say I'm happy about it. But I will elaborate on it when I feel better and I can do a debate of the week. Next, Bray Wyatt talking about The Undertaker still. We need The Undertaker to show himself, unless they're going to be stupid enough just to have The Undertaker show up at WrestleMania. I'm being honest here. If The Undertaker shows up at WrestleMania and does not show himself on the show next week, this was a terrible idea. And they should have left this alone. I'm going to leave it at that. And when it comes down to it, this is the last thing I'm going to talk about. And this was John Cena and Rusev. You see the title. This is the reason why I'm making it a focus. Look. For so many years, John Cena has been after the main title for so long. We have seen every increment of what John Cena has to offer. And to a large extent, many people are bored with it. He has been in the main title where most of the people have been shoved out because of him. Most of the people has been destroyed because of him. Now we have him in the lowest tier title, the US title. And there's a real storyline behind this. US versus the Soviet Federation, or the Soviet Union, if you still use that name. When it comes down to it, this is about patriotism. And you're going to say, are you kidding? John Cena is... Look, having John Cena as the most patriotic person there after you went through Jack Swagger, Mark Henry, Big Show. You had gone through practically everybody else on the roster that you're willing to throw at Rusev. John Cena is the be-all, end-all. And I was hoping that John Cena would go and get this title because it would give his character a total change. It may not be a great total change, but it will give him a total change. One, he will be in a low-tier position, which will allow a Roman Reigns, a Seth Rollins if you want to, a Dolph Ziggler, a Bray Wyatt, a Daniel Bryan, a Cesaro, a Rusev. I'm not saying they're all going to be there, but they could. And if I'm missing something, I'm sorry. My throat is really hurting. I'm trying to focus. Ooh, that hurt. But you get my point. Let a John Cena have the lowest tier belt. One, it'll feel like this is about patriotism for America. That an all-American boy like a John Cena is going to reclaim that is ours. A American title in a US title. Two, you will not see him in the main title scene much because he'll be in the low tier, and you could have people who in the low tier face a John Cena. If John is willing to play ball here, there are people that have been on the roster who have never dealt with a John and could really get a great rub from a US champion and a John Cena who's a former World Heavyweight Champion, a former WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And hell, let him run with that title for a little while and then go to the IC Championship. John has never gotten the IC Championship. If they're doing what I think they're doing, if they are, they're letting John Cena, who has been a top guy for quite a while, help revitalize the title scenes. Let him go for the US Championship and stay with it for about 4 to 6 months. Then let him go after the IC Championship. Hold that for 4 months or so, because no one's doing anything with it. And then let him go back into the main title scene going after WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I'm honestly telling you, and I'm not a big John Cena fan, this is something he used to do back in the 70s when it came to Hulk Hogan. He got the different titles. When it came to a Shawn Michaels, he went and got the same titles. When it came to a Bret Hart, he went for the IC Championship and the WWE Championship. And then when he went to WCW, he did the same thing to a certain extent. Come on. If you honestly want to see something different from the WWE, no matter how much you may not like John Cena, he's the most built guy they got. And if they're using their heads here, which I don't believe they are, I'm just hoping if we see this, it will be something substantial. And John We Trust might be the title right there. That might be the title. Or John Must Fight for America. I don't know yet. I think that might be the best. But I hope you enjoyed this Zane's View. Please give me a comment below. I'm sorry I can't do my debate of the weeks. My throat is still messed up from all this crazy weather. It's like 8 degrees earlier in the street. My apartment's maybe about 60. You know how it is in New York. You don't always get heat even when you call. But this is a deal. This is what I'm dealing with. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.